answer a question today that most people don't ask, or ask, I guess. Why would you even buy a Hellcat? Or whatever fast car you fancy. GT350, GT500, McLaren, GTR. Why would you even buy such a thing? And don't mind the BMW jacket. It was just given to me as a gift, so I use this when it's cold outside and I have to go basketball, and I don't care too much about it being dirty or anything. But let's answer the question: why do people buy cars like a Hellcat? For me, that's part of the reason, the sound that it makes. But for me personally, why did I buy a Hellcat? I can tell you is that ever since I was little, I love cars. Cars on TV, car toys, talking about cars, playing with cars, making car sounds. Ever since I was little. You know, we didn't have, those little tracks that you can buy. I think when I was 10, 11 years old, one of our cousins from America gifted us one of those slot cars, where you connect the roads, figure 8 road, and you race them with, little wire battery, whatever, slot cars, I guess they call them. But anyways, I just love cars ever since I was little. But growing up in the Philippines, we really couldn't afford cars. So when it came time to afford a car, I always liked the Chargers. I love the Chargers. In fact, the SRT Charger, during the, what year is it? 2010, 11, 12, or something like that. SRT Charger, the ones with the ram looking front end with a crosshair front end. I love that look of the Charger. It was so aggressive. In fact, when they came out with this newer body style Charger, a lot of people complained. I don't know if you guys remember. A lot of people complained that it didn't look as aggressive anymore because it the front end kind of shrunk, kind of narrowed a little bit compared to that wide grill with a crosshair ram looking logo in front. So that's why when it came to time that I can afford car, I was looking into Dodge and Chargers. And the reason why I bought it, because I like the way it looks, I like the way it drives, I like what it represents as a muscle car, right? And sure enough, it is exactly what I thought it would be, for me at least. I love the way it sounds, and I just love to drive it. And in fact, one of my short videos, one of the comments was like, "Your car is your personality." I mean, that doesn't make sense. How can you make your car your personality? Because maybe I make videos of cars, of the Hellcat on YouTube, but that's what I do. I do that as a hobby, because I'm gonna take a video anyway, so I might as well post it. What I learned is that a lot of people like it. A lot of people ask questions about this and that. So if there are 20 haters and there's one person that I was able to give an answer to or help out, that would have been worth it. But anyways, that is the reason why I bought this Hellcat, is because I like the way it drives. I like the sound that it makes. Listen to that. There's not a lot of cars that sound like that. I like the way it looks. It's wide, it's menacing, and it's such a unique car. You could be driving all day you'll see a lot of wide body Scat Packs, Chargers, and Challengers, but you rarely see a wide body Hellcat. It's still unique, at least in my town. I mean, you still see those all dress up Chargers and Challengers with all the stripes and stickers on the side and blow up lights. You know, some people like that stuff. I don't. I try to modify my cars to make it look like the things that it came from the factory. So kind of customize it like factory plus. You know, that's kind of how I like my cars, to customize my cars. But like I said, it's about the driving experience. That's why I bought this car. So my next car, if I'm ever blessed again in the future to buy another car, would be a car that the Hellcat does not satisfy or does not give that particular experience. So the Hellcat experience is that it's loud, it's aggressive, it's rear-wheel drive, it's rowdy, it's fun, but it's a heavy car. For example, the Alfa Romeo Stelvio Quadrifoglio, the one that the wife drives, that gives a different experience. It's an SUV, but it's so light, nimble, quick. The steering is telepathic. It's got a different sound compared to this big V8 sound. So that's a totally different experience. So in the future, if I'm blessed to buy another car, I'm going to have to be looking for a car that I have not experienced things that it provides for the cars that I've experienced in the past. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm explaining it clearly here. But what I'm saying is that I'm going to try to look for a car that will give me a different experience from the cars that I've already had. So what would that be? I've not owned a V10 car. I've not owned a V12 car. Right? So I've had a lot of V8s. I got a V6 twin turbo right now. So those the V10 and the V12s will have a different sound to them. I don't care if it's a manual or not. Doesn't really matter. You know, manual is fun too. I know how to drive manual. I grew up driving manuals. So that's going to be the future for me. But to answer the question, why do you buy this car? A Hellcat, a GTR, a McLaren, or whatever. For me, it's about the driving experience, nothing else. I don't care what people say. I don't care what people think. I don't care about the comments, personalities. I don't really care. Because I can go out and drive to basketball today and drive this car and experience the fun that it brings. The noise, the ride, how it feels when you drive it. That's what gets it for me. Look, I got some boring cars at home too. I got a company car, a Subaru that's pretty mundane to drive. I mean, it's pretty boring. I mean, it doesn't have a lot of power. It's ugly looking, but it gets the job done, I guess. It gets me from work to home. That's why when I get home and I have an itching or a desire to drive a fun car, I take this out. And it satisfies that craving for that driving experience. Because like a kid, when you were a kid, you took out your little car, you make it, drive around the floor or wherever, and you make that sound. This one makes its own sound. I'm actually sitting inside instead of pushing it around. So it's technically like a toy. Big boys' toys. That's why the channel is called Boys Toys. My kids laughed at that name of the channel, Boys Toys. The reason is that I started the channel by videoing making videos of the toys we had, the motorcycles we had, the dirt bikes, the boat, now the cars. So it's basically a channel for the toys that I've had, big boys toys. So that's why it's boys toys. Only boys or men with toys, big boy toys, would understand what that means, right? It sounds silly, but they know exactly what that means. When you were little, you had toys, and now you're bigger, you're an adult, you have adult money, and you can buy toys. And the same experience you were imagining when you were playing with those toys, you're actually now experiencing it, right? Inside the car, the boat, whatever. So that is why you buy a car like this, for the experience, not to show them off, not to do some stupid things in it, but to experience it, just like you experienced it when you were a child. That is exactly why I bought this car, and the cars that I'm going to buy in the future. It's going to be about the experience. That's why if I have another car, like say the Trackhawk, right? Why would you buy a Trackhawk? I've had a Jeep SRT before. It's essentially the same car with a different engine. Yeah, the Trackhawk is faster, but you have to understand, the Trackhawk is fast, but it gets boring after a while. It gets boring just because it just keeps going, and when it gets to speed, it slows down because it's tall, heavy, aerodynamics is not there. Unlike the Hellcat, the Charger, for example, yeah, it's fast, it's quick, rear-wheel drive, so you always worry about the back end kicking out. The tires are always spinning, can't get traction. But when you're up to speed, it just keeps going. It keeps moving. It doesn't slow down at all. So that is why I did get a Trackhawk, because I've experienced a Jeep SRT before, and I feel like they're too similar, close enough. So I hope I answered your question. Comment below if you have other reasons why you bought a car, but certainly the reason I bought the car is for my own driving experience, for nobody else. And I'm just blessed enough to be able to share it with you guys, to share the experience, to share the things that I do with a car, and have this conversation. And I don't take that for granted. I take that seriously, and I appreciate the support that you guys extend to me by watching the video, liking the video, commenting. I love comments because I like answering them, good or bad, doesn't matter to me, because it doesn't impact me. I'm gonna do the same thing I'm doing anyways. I'm gonna do me. Rest assured, I'm just gonna do me. I'm gonna do what I love to do, and what I love to do is driving this car, experiencing these cars, and sharing with you guys. I love doing that. So hopefully this video gives you guys some perspective from my point of view, why I bought this car and why I'm going to continue buying other cars as I can afford it. It's about the experience, nothing else. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close this out, and see you next time. All right, bye for now.